What's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody has a happy Easter. Happy Easter to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well with their family. But let's get into it, man, because Kendrick Lamar had kicked off his tour. He finally kicked off the GNX tour, and it looks like it got the world talking. It got the media world, it got the hip hop world talking because of a segment that took place at the tour itself. Let's just be clear that this show was a sold out show, and it looked like every single seat was filled in the audience for this opening show for this tour. And Kendrick Lamar's performance didn't disappoint at all. He also performed Good Credit for the first time, which was a song that he had made with Playboi Carti on his album. There's a lot of things that he had did on this tour that was very noticeable. But the one thing that got everybody talking is the segment where he did this deposition with some lawyer, with some attorney, was the part where Kendrick Lamar was in the background video sitting down talking to a deposition attorney as if he's being interviewed in a courtroom. If anything, it's kind of similar to when Lil Wayne was doing a deposition. If you remember back in the day when Lil Wayne had did something familiar like this. So I'm not sure if it's a shot at Lil Wayne, because I know Lil Wayne had recently talked about the Super Bowl still. And obviously we have that record, Whacked Out Murals, where Kendrick Lamar was talking about Lil Wayne also. But this whole scene right here where Kendrick's sitting down being interviewed takes me back to a time when Lil Wayne was being interviewed in a similar manner.
Did you perform at the Virgin Mobile Music Fest in 2000? Isn't it something that you would remember if your album, The Carter 3, was the biggest selling album of the year in 2008?
Isn't it something that I would remember that?
Yes.
Isn't that a personal opinion type question?
Have you ever hired a photographer to photograph an event?
Have I ever hired a photographer to photograph an event? Sorry, sir, no, I'm a superstar. People hire them themselves to photograph me. We don't hire them.
Do you recall that any criminal actions were pending against you at the end of 2008?
I don't recall any.
So this interview that Kendrick Lamar does at this concert, it takes me back to a time when Lil Wayne had did a similar interview back in the day when he was doing his deposition. Kendrick is doing a deposition now at his concert, which made me feel like if this was also mocking Lil Wayne because of the whole Super Bowl thing. I mean, I know that he had talked about him in Whacked Out Murals, saying that he thought that he let Lil Wayne down, but I'm not sure if this is adding fuel to the fire or if this is Kendrick Lamar taking inspiration from that time. Mind you, he still likes Lil Wayne as an artist. Lil Wayne was somebody that he had looked up to growing up. So you could let me know if Kendrick was mocking Lil Wayne or if he was drawing inspiration from that time Lil Wayne was in court with his own deposition. Y'all tell me how you feel about that. Another interesting part about this segment right here with the deposition is when the attorney asked Kendrick Lamar, when he said he wants to watch the party die, did he mean it metaphorically or did he say it as a threat? And this is what Kendrick Lamar ends up saying. I'm gonna play the clip right now.
No, we're not here for that. We're here to take a deposition, and that requires you to not be on your phone.
Go ahead.
You said you wanted the party to die. Was that a metaphor? Or were you being serious?
I said it's a good song.
No, I understand you think it's a good song, but it's not answering my question. Were you being metaphorical, or should it be taken as a threat?
Whatever you want to take it.
It's whatever you want to take it. Like I said, very similar to how Lil Wayne answers his questions in the deposition that he did many years ago. I get the same vibe, and I'm wondering if he's doing this in regards to Lil Wayne's deposition and how he handled it, and if he's trying to mock that or imitate that. Really not sure, but y'all can tell me how you feel, like I said. But it's the questions that the lawyer ends up asking Kendrick Lamar in this scene right here. I'm gonna play the clip right now.
Keep all the dates. I don't know that maybe on
Sunday, February 9th,
I want to keep all the dates.
of this year.
I will keep all the dates that I know in the air.
Okay, does this ring a bell? Drop, 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 drop.
Now, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. This stare right here is diabolical, bro. That stare right there is a man that knows the damage that he did. That stare right there is the face of a man who knows exactly what he did. A diabolical look when the guy is repeating drop and it's getting faster and faster. I think this was super scary. I don't know why, I don't know why. Maybe it's because I could feel the intention, the intense nature that's in this clip right here, bro. I just feel it, bro.
Drop, 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 drop.
And then he smiles in the end. And then he smiles at the end. And I think, if anything, if I'm being real, you know, reading the lawsuit, the amended lawsuit, Drake had put in there how Kendrick Lamar became a meme because he stared at the camera and smiled. Now, Kendrick is smiling here at this part of the event, at the concert, with this segment right here. It makes me feel that Kendrick is aware that smiling pisses Drake off. It pissed him off enough to put it in the lawsuit after he amended it. And I'm pretty sure it's pissing him off now, seeing this footage go around the internet after Kendrick Lamar's first concert for GNX tour. So at the start of the conversation, the deposition attorney says, "Do you remember the date on Sunday, February 9th of this year for 2025? Kendrick says, "I don't keep up with dates." The deposition attorney says, "Does this ring a bell?" And that's when he keeps saying drop, 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 and it keeps intensifying. You see, the whole point about February 9th, though, February 9th, if you could remember, February 9th was the day of the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl was on February 9th of this year. The game was in New Orleans. This is where Kendrick had did his halftime show, and this is where Drake amended his lawsuit, went back and revised it, and that's when he added more details about the Super Bowl. Now, he already talked about the Super Bowl in his lawsuit originally, but it's the fact that he had went back and also talked about a few things that happened at the Super Bowl, talking about when Kendrick smiled at the camera and all of this, right? See here in the amended lawsuit, it says the image of Lamar looking directly at the camera when he named Drake and stated that Drake likes him young during the Super Bowl performance became a viral meme. Anything in red currently is something that Drake had went back and added to his complaint in his lawsuit. If you could click the hyperlink, it's going to take you to a picture of Kendrick Lamar smiling at the camera. And this is the link that it takes you to. So the guy doing the deposition at Kendrick Lamar's concert, asking him about February 9th is the Super Bowl. He keeps saying, "Does this sound familiar?" And then drop keeps intensifying. And then Kendrick Lamar smile, just like he did on February 9th at the Super Bowl. At this point, Kendrick knows that smiling at the camera, smiling in general, is going to piss Drake off. Drake may do these streams with Aiden Ross. He may do things that make him seem unbothered. But on paper, he seems pissed. He seems upset. He's not happy about any of this shit. And I think behind closed doors, Drake is more furious about all of this shit happening than he lets on. I thought this was an interesting thing to do at the concert, considering the deposition, talking about UMG, the lawsuit that Drake had sent them. Being questioned by a deposition lawyer is always interesting, considering the Lil Wayne connection. Is he mocking Lil Wayne as well? We know Lil Wayne is still talking after the Super Bowl. He recently spoke about getting slighted at the Super Bowl and then giving it to Kendrick Lamar. That article, him talking about that, is probably like a week old. But the deposition, nonetheless, it also mocks the lawsuit itself that Drake had sent to UMG. I think there could be a chance that Drake is mocking Lil Wayne. He's mocking Drake. He's mocking the lawsuit and everything in between, bro. Lil Wayne is still salty, and I think Kendrick doing this is letting you know that he's aware of it and that he don't care. He's for sure mocking the lawsuit that Drake had sent UMG. He's mocking Drake about the Super Bowl, bringing up February 9th, the halftime show. And I think this was a crazy way to kick off Not Like Us at the very first concert at the GNX tour. This tour is going to go crazy, bro. Look how packed this tour is, bro. Look how packed the seats are. This is crazy, bro. Let me be clear for you right now, bro. It doesn't look like any of these people are bots. Doesn't look like any of these people happen to be bots at all, bro. They look like people. I don't see any robots. I see forms of life appearing at these concerts, and they look packed and sold out, bro. And it looks like everybody that goes to a concert for the GNX tour is going to be in for a surprise, and it's going to be in for a performance of a lifetime. You'll be witnessing history every single night. And I wonder how Kendrick is going to kick off the song Not Like Us for every single concert that he does for this tour. Is he going to do the deposition again, or is he going to do something else for every single city, something different every time he plays Not Like Us? I'm not sure if the set's going to change or if it's going to remain the same. Either way, I thought it was a creative way to throw slight at the lawsuit and anybody else it was aimed for. Y'all tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Y'all tell me how you feel about this GNX tour, this concert, and what Kendrick did to mock Drake and his lawsuit with UMG. Do you think it was a shot at Lil Wayne also? Y'all tell me in the comments, man. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video, man. Peace. Keep it a legend.